What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about Hmp Hull, Hmp YOI Hull, because I was a YO the first time I went there. I've been there twice. I'm going to get into it, and I have spoke about Hull before, and there's always someone in the comments says, "Oh, you've said this before," but you know, I didn't really have a deep dive into it. I just had a little recap, and I feel like I'm in a stronger position now. I've got more confidence, so. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Hmp Hull. I've been there twice. So sit back, relax, and allow me to regale you. So the first time I went there, it was 1990 summer. I was a YO, and Doncatraz was on lockdown. There was no space, so they sent me to Hull. And when I first got there, what I used to do is I used to have tracky bottoms, and I used to load pills around the tracky bottoms, around the waist, Valium, morphine, you know, just load of tablets in case I got busted. So when I got to Hull, I remember I saw the doctor, I don't know what was going on. He must have been a stand-in or something, because usually when you go to the prison doctor, you'll say, "Oh, I'm detoxing, I need someone to help me sleep." He'll just say, "Oh yeah, do your it, see you later." They don't care. But this one, he was like, "Oh, you're detoxing, eh? Oh, that's not good, that's not good. We're going to look after you." I thought, hey, what's the catch? And he put me on they gave me the tablets, and they was fucking good, you know. I had them, and I felt alright. I thought, Jesus, this is alright. I don't know what they were, but then the next morning, I got like a warm feeling. They were bang on, whatever they were. And then the next morning, I went down to like tablet call, whatever you call it. I didn't know the ropes, so it took me a while to find out where to go. But when I got there, they gave me a right handful of tablets. I thought, fucking hell, this is alright. And plus I had my own, so I was buzzing. So anyway, I went back to my cell, had these tablets, felt alright. And I was having a piss in my cell, and the door started wobbling. I thought, what's that? And then I heard giggling like little schoolboys. I thought, what the fuck is that? So I looked through my door, through the crack, and there's these two lads there giggling and tapping door, and they were shouting, "Oh, he's from Donny, he's from Donny." I thought, "Yeah, you little pricks, fuck off." And I said, "Oh, when this door opens, I'll smash your fucking heads in," because that's how you have to be in prison, you know. You have to present yourself as you're willing to fight. And 9 times out of 10, nothing happens, you know, but you have to portray that image. So I was like, when this door opens, I'll knock you out, you prick. I had some back and forth, and then, you know, they fucked off. So I sat on my bed, I'd had all my tablets, I had some more Valium and some morphine, so I was proper writ off. And I was just laid on my bed, gouching. And like in Hull, there's no windows, there's only bars. There's like a square, I don't know what it's like now, but back then there was just bars, there was no window. And somehow these two kids who had been arguing were above me, and they'd made a firebomb and thrown it out, and it's come down and smashed into my cell, set my fucking cell on fire. I thought, you little pricks. So I was off my head though on the bed, you know, probably I was gouching like, and I could see the flames in my cell. But I didn't care because I was on Valium. And anyone who's had Valium, I'll tell you, it's like, it makes you so you don't care. You could be in a zombie apocalypse getting chased by walkers. And if you're off your head on Valium, you just be like, "Hey, you alright, mate?" You don't care. So I'm laid on my bed gouching, and there's flames in my cell, and I just rolled over them and just fucking dozed off. And then the next morning I thought, did I get fucking firebombed last night? I'm looking around and there's black all over the cell. I thought, Jesus Christ. They fucking firebombed me, the little muppets. So anyway, they've let me out to go on to association. And back then, it was, under YOs, it was a different room, like a sports hall. And there was like a pool table and a TV. And all the YOs were in there. It was loud as though everybody's fucking shouting and screaming. And I've gone in there on my own. And there was this little ginger kid. And he was like giving me some stick, because I had a ponytail back then. And it's not recommended to have a ponytail in prison, because you just get everybody just takes the piss. So I had a ponytail, and I could hear he was talking shit about me. And I just ignored it for a bit. And then it got to the point where I said, "What are you fucking talking to, you little prick?" And then it like kicked off a little bit, and the screws came and they've dragged me off, because you know you have to portray that image. You can't let people take the piss. So anyway, the screws have come, took me, banged me up, and I was just banged up. And then that night, I was off my head on these pills again, and I was stood at the window, and I think it must have been next door to the medical wing or something, or some kid next door. We were talking back and forth, and I used to stand at the window and breathe the air in whilst I were off my head. And we were talking, and he says, "Oh, do you want to swap some pills?" I says, "Oh, go on then. What are you on?" He says, "Oh, I don't know. It's he says some sort of antipsychotic drugs." I thought, well, I'll have some of them. I says, "Go on then." I swapped him a couple of Valium, and fucking hell, I don't know what they were, but I was absolutely off my head. Everything was moving. It was like I was tripping, and I was stood there all night having banter with everyone. And yeah, that was Hull. And that little ginger kid, see, this is the thing when you're in prison. If you're going to talk shit about people and hide behind your mates, then there's a good chance you might bump into them down the road. And that's exactly what happened. I was in Doncaster, and they took us down reception, and this little ginger kid was there, and I was with all my boys then, and he was on his self, you know. So I didn't beat him up about. I just like put it on him. I said, "I remember me." I said, "You was fucking talking shit, and when we all your mates." I said, "You're on your own now." So I kind of like just let him know, you know, that if I wanted, we could just smash him in. But I never did, because I don't like causing trouble. But you have to portray that image, you know, that you're willing to fight. So I just kind of let him know. And that's the thing in prison. If you're hiding behind people, starting shit, then you're probably going to see them down the road. So yeah, that was Hull. I can't remember. I think I got out from court. I went in for much. It was like shoplifting, and I got remanded. And then I think I went back to court and got out from court. So that was the first time I went to Hull. It wasn't a very great experience. I mean, to be honest, I was off my head most of the time, but it were a crap jail, crap cell was shit. There was no bars in the windows. It was freezing cold. So yeah, Hull was a proper shithole back then. But then I did go again, like fucking 2010 or something like that. And it had been completely refurbished, because I got kicked out of Ramby. I was in Ramby for a while, and I had this immature attitude, you know, fuck the screws, and I ended up on basic, and they kicked me out of the prison. They took me double cuffed in a black cab to Hull. I thought, oh no, fucking all shit. But when I got there, it was a completely fresh start. The screw says, as soon as he came in, the screw says, "Look, we don't care. We're going to put you back on standard regime. We don't care what you've done in Ramby. You get a clean slate here. If you're alright with us, we'll be alright with you." And I was like, "Yeah, sound." And it had all been done out. They had all, instead of just a open window with bars, it was like a grate now. And all the furniture had been done out, and it was absolutely red hot. That's the one thing. I was devastated. They put me in this cell, and I says, "Oh, I ain't got a blanket." And he laughed, the screw. He said, "You're not going to need a blanket in there. You couldn't open the window because it's just like a grate. So, you know, it's like a vent. You can slide the vent back, but it was broken. So it was absolutely red hot, and it was next to the shower. So all night, I couldn't sleep because it was so hot. It was like being in a greenhouse. And because I was next to the shower, it was just drip, drip, drip. And it was sending me mad. It pushed me to a point where I just proper went mental and said, "Look, you've got to get me out of this fucking cell. It's driving me mad. It's red hot. I can't sleep, and that thing's fucking tapping all night." So they put me in another cell, and it was all right from then on. Everybody was quiet. Everybody seemed subdued. It was weird. Like the first time I went, it was crazy and loud, and the second time I went, everyone was like really quiet and like robots. It was very surreal. But anyway, yeah, I ended up getting out from Hull. I remember I swapped. I befriended some kid, I can't remember his name, from Hull. He was into the hardcore scene, so we used to trade tapes. And I had a really posh stereo, Sony stereo, like a 200 quid one, which is pretty big in prison. And I just said, "Look, lend us your PlayStation for a night, and you can have this stereo. I'm out tomorrow." So I got his PlayStation. I was playing Tomb Raider all night, and I left him my stereo and got out from there. And yeah, that was the time I went in Hmp Hull. 2 very different times, 2 very different experiences. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Bonjour, au revoir.